Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rudi and thank you so much for being here. Usually I do have clothes on my channel, but not today, and that's okay, So I have some stuff going on this week that I want to self-tan for, and I've had a few requests to talk about my self-tan routine, and I will say, it is not anything special, you guys. Like, I was always curious about when people ask me to do videos about things that other people have done videos on. So for example, like my nails. I do my gel nails at home, and people want me to talk about it. And I want to talk about it, but I get all my information from someone else. So to me, I'm like, oh, it's just as good as watching someone else's video. But then I think about it and I'm like, I like watching my girlies and my boys, and so I would listen to them say anything. And so I'm gonna watch a video about nails. I would rather watch it from them. So I get it. So we are gonna talk about self-tanning today, but I do want to preface that I am not a master of the self, okay? I'm pretty messy about it, and I do it when I can. It's not really like I have a routine every Thursday night. I sit down and I do my self-tan. No, I do it maybe before an event or before a wedding or before something like that, but for the most part, I am what I am. That being said, I think I have found the best self-tanning mousse that I have tried, and I've tried a lot, and some of the accessories that go along with self-tanning to make it easy, quick, and to make sure you're not splotchy. So we'll talk about some of that. We'll talk about what I use on my face and sort of just chit chat about what's going on with me next week as I finish my coffee. So if you are new here, a strange video for you to start with, but hello. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. We talk about skincare, we talk about self-care, we talk about fashion, makeup, we do vlogs, and I would love to have you subscribe. Okay, so typically when I'm doing self-tan, I'm gonna go ahead and be fully naked, and that is what I recommend that you do as well. However, here I am today with a little top on for you, so you're welcome. Typically, there is a lot of prep that comes with self-tanning, but honestly, with this kind that I have tried and found to really, really love, I've had to do minimal prep and it turns out pretty good still. So I'm just saying, if you feel like you want to self-tan one day, but you haven't exfoliated and you haven't done all the things, I think it's okay if you use this brand. And we are talking about the brand Luna Bronze. I had never heard of them before, and they had sent me a few products, and we ended up working together on my Instagram stories. Quick plug, it's at the Rudi Berry on Instagram and at Rudi Berry on TikTok. But this is not sponsored at all. I truly and honestly just love this product. I applied this so messily the first couple times I tried this and had zero splotching. So I'm not gonna do that today. I'm gonna try and be good, but it's harder when I'm filming because I need to look in the mirror. And anyways, you really want to properly exfoliate your skin beforehand, whether that be through shaving, using an exfoliation mitt like this. I think every tanning brand makes one of these. It's just like a rough texture, and you just want to use it all over your body to make sure you have exfoliated the skin so that the self-tan sits properly on the skin. You can do this in the shower on wet skin. I took a shower last night and I didn't do this. So I'm going to show you the real tea of how this works without being exfoliated. Honestly though, that's like, again, one of those steps that people are like, you need to do this. If you don't have time to do it, you're gonna be fine. Another important step is that you want your skin to be completely dry when you're using a self-tanning mousse. There are self-tanning lotions that I really like from Luxe Unfiltered, but in this case with the mousse, you want it to stick to your dry skin. So no lotions, no serums, nothing. Just get out of the shower, wait till your skin is dry, and then you can apply the mousse. And then two other items that I highly recommend. One you definitely need, which is a mitt. This one actually has a little thumb hole, which I really like because it gives you a little bit more control over when you're rubbing. And the other is the back mitt. You can get these on Amazon. This one is from Luna Bronze, but this is going to give you all of this traction here. Okay? When you can't reach this, you have this. It's amazing. You don't need anybody. You don't need your partner. You don't need your significant other. Literally screw them and get this. The only other thing that I'm gonna mention is after you've self-tanned, you wanna make sure and have really loose fitting clothing, like some sweatpants and an oversized t-shirt, something like that, just to make sure that it's not creating creases or lines on your self-tan. But honestly, that's really all you need. And depending on the product that you have, it's gonna tell you how many hours that you need to wear the product. I typically like to do these before bed, but sometimes in a situation like this, it's 9:30 in the morning. I have something to go to tonight at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna wear it as long as I can and see what happens. Again, I'm not perfect, but sometimes you just want to have a little tan. So this one, it says that you can wear it from 1 to 6 hours. So really, I'm gonna do that, 1 to 6 hours. We'll see what happens. We're also gonna talk about the face. I use the brand Salty Face. We'll get to it. It's the best face self tanner I've tried. We'll talk about it. Let's start with the body. I personally like to apply to the mitt and then rub on. Some people like to apply straight on. I find that to be insane, but absolutely go off. I'll do 1 or 2 pumps to start and then just literally go in. Again, I feel really silly doing this because I am not a self-tan connoisseur, and I know that I'm probably missing a step. Like, a lot of people like to use, and we'll talk about the hands. We'll talk about the hands, okay? I like to skip my hands. A lot of people like to use lotion on their elbows or on their kneecaps or on their extremities or on their feet. And I used to be like that until I started using this self-tanner. Then I literally stopped because I didn't feel like I needed to do that because this works so well and leaves literally no creasing. So up to you. There are much better self-tanner videos out there. Wow, I'm really doing a great job at making you want to watch my channel. So anyways, tonight I am going to an ILIA event. I'm really excited. I don't know if you've noticed, but I feel like I've been talking about events and things like that more recently. And it's because I feel like Nashville is starting to, not that it's starting to, Nashville has always been a place for influencers, and there's always been people here who are in the space. But I feel like brands are just now starting to notice that there's a lot of us here. So they're coming, they're doing events here. More people are moving to Nashville from the coasts. So there's one arm done, by the way. Looks pretty good and it was pretty easy. So because of that, I feel like they're like, oh yeah, we should do something in Nashville. And this one came up literally out of nowhere. And it's at this bar that it's kind of near my house. It's like an indoor bar. It's really cute. So I'm excited because there's a girl named April who works for ILIA, who I have been talking to online for ages, and I have wanted to meet her, and we just haven't had the chance. So I'm really, really excited. She works for ILIA, but she also does fashion content. She also is disabled, and she talks a lot about that and how there should be more representation of fashion and makeup and skincare within the disabled community. So I'm all about that, and I cannot wait to meet her. As you can see, I'm being quite messy across my chest, and that's okay. I will say, like, typically with the clavicle area, a tip that I do have, another tip, is using a small brush like this. This is from Keys Soul Care. You can just use a brush that you don't really care about makeup wise, and you can take it into your foam and really get into these clavicles and on the neck and all of these small places like your hands, which we'll get into. It really helps blend rather than going in with a giant mitt. But again, like, look how even this is. I barely did anything. I am gonna cover the neck here just with my hand, and we'll get to the rest of the back with our back machine. I'm trying to avoid going too high up the neck because I want to hit that with the brush, and I don't want to have this line here where it's like tan, not tan. So it's just like the lower half of the neck, and then we'll talk about the upper half. Anyways, so I'm excited for that. I literally was up all night thinking about what I wanted to wear for this event. Like, I was like, okay, should I wear the ILIA vibe, which is like, you know, like the clean girl aesthetic, very cute, very chic, very sleek. And then I was like, well, what if I want to do something more colorful? I just got a bunch of stuff from Aritzia that's really cute. Like, but then also it is still hot outside here in Nashville. It's like gonna be in the 80s, 70s and 80s today. So it's kind of like, well, I can't really wear a fall outfit, especially because this is gonna be an indoor-outdoor event. Don't know. We'll see. That's a bruise, by the way. Don't be fooled. I also just love the color that shows up when you put this on. Like, it is so pretty. It's got an olive undertone to it, which I really, really like. I also like to make sure you're doing this in the mirror and really lifting your arms and legs up and looking from all angles, because you may think that you have hit a part of your body, and then when you do this, you're like, oh, no, 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 no. That's a mistake. I also don't know if you personally noticed my little scars here from my rare disease. If you're new here, I have a rare disease. It is called lichen planus inversus pigmentosis. Pigmentosis inversus. It is basically scarring and itching on my skin. You can see it here. I have it all down my sides. I have it on my back. It's a joyous occasion. Also, if you're just doing this for like a wedding or something and you don't really care about the rest of the body, like, skip it. If you're not wearing a bikini, babe, Don't get your stomach, who freaking cares? Although I'm doing it today, just because I feel like being tan. But if you don't care, freaking skip it. Be tan up top and have tan feet. That's what you need. No need to go crazy with it. I'm gonna do my legs, then I'll come back and we'll talk about the back, the hands, and the feet. I'm sweaty from doing this. It's a full workout. Okay, so back. You might be wondering, how am I gonna do this? I wonder that myself too. What I like to do is take the product and actually spray the mousse down this and then go straight in on my back. Seems complicated, it's not, I promise. So we're gonna flip it around, make sure it's on that side, and just go to town. You really wanna make sure you're rounding your back out when you get to this main part of your back, like fully hunch over like this, because that's how you're gonna get the middle of your back, because you naturally have a curvature of your spine. So make sure you're hunching, girls. Maybe you need a little bit more. That's okay. Round two. You can also go this way for that middle of the back. While I'm doing my back, I will let you know, as I mentioned in my last video, I am going to Manhattan for the first time ever with Neutrogena. What? Like, never in a million years doing this, especially like with how crazy and silly my videos are, as you can see, did I think that I would be going on brand trips. I know everyone says that, but like, for real, guys, what? I'm so excited, and I am going with so many professionals, like dermatologists, and I'm like, hi, I'm just a normal girl who has a skin disease. But yeah, Dermangelo is gonna be there, and a bunch of really amazing scientists and people that I really look up to that I just, have been following for a really long time. I'm not sure of everybody yet, but I'm gonna vlog once I get there, so don't you worry your little head about it. But I can tell you that I will be the least cool person there by far. The only thing that's stressing me out is that they haven't sent us our itinerary or even where we're staying yet, and we leave in a week, not even a week. We leave in less than a week, and I have no idea where we are going or staying. And as someone who's never been, that stresses me out. I've also made a ton of friends online that I want to meet in real life. So I'm hopeful that I'll have some downtime to be able to go out and explore and meet some of my friends that I've met from TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. Can you tell I'm a little stressed? Okay. So I am fully tanned, I do believe, in the major areas. So now we're gonna cover hands, feet, and neck. God, this video is really reminding me of my declutter video, which everyone laughed at me for and made fun of me and was like, this is the most insane declutter video I've ever seen. And I'm like, yeah, I told you it would be, and you still wanted it. And that's what this is. Okay, so personally for hands, I am the type of person who washes my hands all the time. So it doesn't always make sense for me to do my hands because I'm gonna get them wet anyways, which rule of thumb for all self-tanning is you cannot get wet for however long until you decide to take it off because it needs to develop. So one thing you can do is take a brush, put it in some of the foam, and really go in between your fingers very lightly and add a layer while avoiding your palms to help really ombre that color up to your hands. What I like to do personally is take whatever is left over on my mitt and just kind of pat my hands and help rub that color up a little bit. You really wanna try and avoid getting directly on your wrist as well, but there is still color available on this mitt, and this is just gonna help rub a little bit of that color on the hand, but not be as dark as your chest, because that is like the telltale sign of someone who's had a bad self-tan. So again, I just lightly buff upwards, trying to avoid the knuckles. I might hit them for 1 second, but again, I'm gonna wash my hands a bunch anyways today, but this is a good way to do it, especially if you are going to sleep, because it will give you a little bit of color on the hand without actually applying any real mousse to the skin. And you can do the same thing with your feet. If you're wearing sandals or something like that, I do recommend actually going in with the brush and making sure that you're really hitting the sides of your feet, because that is a telltale sign, again, that you've had a bad self-tan, is when you see the side of someone's foot and it's like pure white and then there's a giant orange line. I'm not gonna show you my feet because there's freaky people out there and you might be one of them. But what I'm saying is don't underestimate the power of whatever's left on your mitt. It will create the perfect little amount of color for your hands and your feet. Now, the clavicle is where we're gonna take a little bit more attention and actually take a little bit of the mousse on the mitt and apply it to this stippling brush and really make sure that all of the areas in these little crooks have been covered and lightly dust it up the neck. I like to do this to make sure that the area that everyone is seeing is fully covered. I am also not a person who uses this self-tanner on my face, but some people do. And one of the best ways to apply is with a makeup brush. You can also hit your ears with a brush like this and just lightly take it up the neck. This will avoid you having like big pieces of self-tan up the neck. And you can see even still it looks splotchy right here. Don't worry about it. This stuff is amazing. It will not look splotchy when it comes off, I promise. Okay, moving on to the face. I mentioned I use a completely different brand for my face. This is the brand Salty Face, and they are a Canadian self-tanning brand. Strange, because Canada is cold, but then I think, we should trust them because they're always cold. This is a kit that comes with a few products. It comes with their tanning water, and it comes with a spray top and a squeezer bottle nozzle, and then it comes with this giant brush. This is by far my favorite way to apply self-tanner to my face. So I absolutely love this product, and I'm very particular about self-tanner on the face. Some people completely avoid self-tanner on the face and end up just using a darker shade of makeup, but if I'm doing a no makeup day, I don't want to have that big difference. This is great for sensitive skin, okay? We've got clean, vegan, cruelty-free, naturally derived, no sulfates, fragrance-free, made in Canada. This is great. I also love the Luxe Unfiltered drops, but I find this to be a little bit easier because it's actually in a spray bottle. So what you do is you can either spray this directly on your face, you can take the dropper and mix it in with a moisturizer like my Luxe Unfiltered, or what I do, I spray it on the brush and then apply it to my face. That is my favorite way because I feel like I'm getting a light layer and I know exactly where it's going and I can build it from there. So I'm just gonna try and be a little bit close to it and apply 1 to 2 spritz at one time and then just go in on one area of my face and just kind of get it damp. Another spritz, take it to the other side of my face. It just feels like nothing and it is clear, so you're not gonna see this color until it's developed over time. And then I'll just go in with whatever's left extra and just go around the eyes, the ears, make sure you're taking it down the neck. This is a large kabuki brush. It's very, very soft and the liquid stays on the tips of the brush, so it's really getting on your face. It is amazing. It is a very light tan, okay? So you're not gonna get like this color payoff on your face. You're gonna get a much lighter color, but to me, that's a little bit more natural. And again, you can always add more because I am gonna be washing this off earlier than I usually would. I'm going to add one more layer because as much color as I can get out of this, I will. Also, I think it's completely safe to put on your eyelids to make sure that your whole face is saturated as if you were actually out in the sun. Again, I've tried a lot of ways to do self-tanner on the face, and this is by far the easiest and the most even on the face. And that's it. We are feeling tan, but not too tan. I'm probably gonna give this, 5 to 6 hours today before I take a shower, and then I'll obviously show you the results. I will say Luna Bronze, just like most self-tanners, does give you the smell of that you are a fried pretzel chip. It's just what DHA does to the skin. It's much less than other self-tanners, but just be aware, I have yet to try a self-tanner that doesn't give you that scent that actually works. Another tip that I do have if you are truly going out on the town or perhaps you hate the feel of stickiness, besides letting your skin sit, is using a loose powder with a large brush and you can put it all over your body. So sometimes when you go to the self-tanner salon, they'll do like a drying thing for you and all it is that they spray powder all over your body. So if you want to do that, you can absolutely do that and help set the product a little bit. Just a little tip. I'm gonna clean this up, go about my day, and then we will reconnect in about 6 hours after I've showered and go over the finished product. Ta-da! Okay, so it's actually been a full 24 hours since the last time we talked because, okay, so I was planning on showing you the finished results like after I had put my outfit together and kind of showing you the whole thing. And I was getting ready for this event that I mentioned, this Ilia event, and 2 of my nails popped off. which is why I have not done a tutorial on these nails because I'm not quite there yet. So 2 of my nails popped off and I had to redo them. And when you're doing Gel X on yourself, it's not just like I could glue it back on. I had to like remove it, put like glue on a new Gel X, repaint it, like the whole thing. It took me like at least half an hour. And then I was super behind on getting ready and getting to the event, so I didn't have time to film. But I have only showered once, and this is the finished results of the Luna Bronze tan. And I don't know if you remember, like the middle of my back right here, I had like a little splotch missing. You literally cannot tell at all. Like this stuff is so good. Obviously you can tell my hands are not as tan as the rest of my body because I had been washing them yesterday. But as you can see, there is absolutely there's no marks on my body from where something was left on for too long. I don't have any orangeness on my wrists at all, which is typically a problem that I deal with self-tanner. And my arms, my upper body, and my stomach are so tan. I absolutely love it, and it is the most natural one that I've ever tried without leaving any streaking or any marks on my neck, on my clavicles. Like everything looks so good. Obviously my face is not as tan, but that is the Salty Face results after like 6 hours. I tend to wear that one overnight, but you can see I have a little bit more of a bronze color, and my recommendation for keeping that color is using the Say Sun Glow on your face underneath your makeup to give you a similar base color from your face to your body. So anyways, I hope this was helpful to you in some way. I realize this video was very chaotic, but this is truly what I do to get myself tan. I 100% attribute it to this specific product and how easy it is to use. I also will say that I use the shade medium instead of dark, and I think that also helps with making sure that the color is really faded nicely and it's not showing up too harshly on the skin. So anyways, I am headed to Philadelphia this evening for a wedding. Super excited to be nice and tan, and then I leave for New York on Tuesday, which is crazy, and I will update you as we go along, of course, either on my YouTube shorts, my community page, on Instagram and TikTok as well. So I will see you guys in the next video really soon.